All right, and welcome back. I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about Southwest Airlines and some of the good, the bad, and the ugly. Southwest Airlines is basically a very simple airline that has semi inexpensive tickets. I'm not going to say they're really inexpensive because there's other lines that are much cheaper sometimes. In fact, sometimes you can get a confirmed seat somewhere else for less than Southwest. So we'll talk about the benefits of Southwest and some of the drawbacks. Later in the video, I'm going to talk about some solutions to some of those things. If you're in the corporate world for Southwest, you might want to listen in because I'm going to show you some great ideas, and they're simple. They would make your service much better. So number one, the big drawback for Southwest Airlines is you do not get a confirmed seat. In fact, typically, I will not fly Southwest Airlines just because of this reason. So everybody cattle calls kind of in a way. They have ABC call-ins. You can have in your ticket a C number, and you'll be one of the last ones getting on the plane. A is one of the first, kind of that sort of thing. And it's kind of, in some ways I can see management-wise back in the early days when they first started their airline. It was probably a lot easier to get people boarded. You didn't have to worry about getting person in and finding a seat for them. And also because you were doing telephone booking, you could just phone in and they would get it. There's X amount of tickets. Let's say there are 180 seats on the plane. They have 180 tickets. That's all I had to worry about. Much easier as far as record keeping and all that other stuff. So back in the early days, that was a really easy way to do it. Now you have the internet, so I'm really not certain why they haven't changed their rules. But anyway, no assigned seat. You have no idea what you're going to get. If you're tall, you could get a middle rear seat that doesn't recline. Not fun, not in my interest. That's why I do not normally fly Southwest. The good about Southwest is they have a returnable or a refundable fare in a lot of their categories, or a fare that can be canceled and move forward pretty easily. And their rates don't normally go up a lot. They do go up though, and you could actually, if you had one a 2-week advance and you wanted to change it like 2 days before, it could cost you quite a bit of money to do that. So there's no fee to do it like some of the other airlines charge $200 to change your plane. They don't do that, but you have to pay the difference in fare, except when it's 24 hours and the same day. So say the same day you're flying, you have an 8 o'clock in the morning flight. You can call them at midnight or right after midnight and actually change the flight and get the later flight you wanted or whatever for no additional charge. And that's a really nice feature. Again, that's not a bad thing about Southwest. So another thing I've noticed with Southwest is because there's no confirmed seats, you see a lot of I'm not going to say it's fraud, but it's kind of like people taking advantage of the pre-boarding where you have all these people with wheelchairs and whatnot. Maybe definitely some of them do need that. But there's some of them that definitely probably don't. And they're taking advantage of that to get on the plane early to get a better seat. So, that would go away if they had some seating, confirmed seating, and it would probably board a lot quicker. So the amount that they're gaining by having no confirmed seat is actually becoming a drawback today because people are taking advantage of that, and it's taking longer for people to board, so for those pre-board people. So it's making the flights late, and I noticed that on the flights I was on. Boarding seemed to be the worst part about it. They seem to be very slow at that because of those reasons. Other than that, when they get to the people who are just cattle calling in, it goes in very quickly. The ticketing goes through very quickly, and that's no issue. Again, the benefits: changeable fees, pretty priced, sometimes pretty low. Some people say, oh, they're the cheapest. No, not necessarily. I think If you find, like, you can find an American or a uh, basically one of the big three, American, Delta, United, you can probably find a ticket on one of the airlines with a confirmed seat. If you have a 7 day or a 3 week or a month advance, and you could probably beat their fare. But you won't get your bags for free. So with Southwest, you do get your bags for 2 bags for free. So that's also a benefit, and you don't have so many people, fighting for the overhead bins, which is an issue with some of the other airlines. So, but there's a lot of people that bring on their luggage. It's just weird. I don't know why they do that when they have free checked baggage. So anyway, no food on the plane, drawback. Because some of these flights, you're on you don't have time really to get something in a restaurant. So it would be nice if they had some sort of food on there. Not a big deal either way, but that would be nice. The fact that they have no class airline, it's kind of weird. Everybody's in the same thing. It's a cattle call type of thing. All the seats are the same, versus like some of the other airlines where they'll have like longer leg room in another section, and they'll have, first class, which is nice on those airlines. Now, even cheaper yet, there's always Spirit Airlines and Frontier. Now, some people say they will never fly those airlines, and it's probably because they don't really read the fine print. If you read the fine print on some of those airlines, it's really not that bad. The drawbacks with those are, I don't know if both of them do. I can't remember. I haven't flown Frontier in a while, but I know that Spirit doesn't recline, and that's a huge drawback for them. Their seats don't recline, but they do have a really flexible fare, and it doesn't go up at the last minute. So if you're let's say you're trying to do a change on a Friday, you found out you could fly Friday instead of flying Sunday. A lot of times the fare is the same on Friday, and you can book with, a week before that or something like that. You could change it to Friday and not have to pay any change fee, and also the same rate probably as what you were going to pay to go Sunday. Versus Southwest, like say a week before, it might go up quite a bit, and you'll have to pay that additional fare. So there's benefits there on places like Spirit, even though you don't have the recline. There's also with, say, Spirit has like a big front seat, so you can pay a little extra. It's like $25 or something like that to get a big front seat, and it's like basically a 2-and-2 first class big front seat, and you can sit up there, but they don't recline, so you keep that in mind. But you can sit up there and have a little more room, a little more leg room, and just pay a little bit more for your fare. But you really, if you're ever going to fly that airline, absolutely read everything online before you book the ticket. Read everything, the entire website. Read it all, because you will get screwed if you buy the ticket and you go down and take luggage down with you. You'll find out it's a different fee than it is if you pay it in advance. If you go down and pay it at the airport, you're going to pay a lot more to bring luggage with you. So keep that in mind if you're going to go with one of those. They work really fine. You just need to know the rules and work with them. If you use the rules with those cheaper airlines, they're actually not bad. And they're actually cheaper than Southwest. So if you're looking for that, that's also there. Another option is Frontier. Again, the problem with both of those airlines is you're going to find a lot of the places they don't go, or you're going to have to do a red eye flight, so you got to really, or the layover might be 8 hours somewhere. Some of the things are really awful with them. So you got to know, in advance what you're getting, and try and figure out if it'll work or not work for your situation. In fact, sometimes I'll do one way with, say, Southwest, and the other way coming back, I'll use Frontier. And I'm just saying, you really got to be open-minded about a lot of things before you just book a flight today. So we kind of know what the drawbacks are. We know what the benefits are from Southwest. What do I think they could improve and make better? One of the things some people really like that they don't have seating. And the reason they like that they don't have seating is because they can bring their family, go on the plane, and everybody can kind of sit together typically. I mean, it depends on if you get like A or B, there's a good chance you can sit with your whole family all together, and it's kind of nice as far as that goes. Versus trying to book a confirmed seat somewhere, it's really hard to get that many seats all together. So some people, like I said, they really like Southwest because of that, the family stuff. So anyway, so what would I recommend to Southwest for their airline? I would have this. I would say I would offer 2/3 of the plane to be confirmed seats, and charge the same rate. Don't charge an additional rate to do it, because then you'll have more people trying to do the old, walk in with crutches, get a whatever, front seat or whatever they do. I just saw a lot of that kind of thing. You'll have less of that. If they can get a confirmed seat for the same rate, a lot of people will fly Southwest that won't fly it now. So that would be a big plus. And then if they did 2/3 of the plane, and then the last third, you could do, unconfirmed seats. So you board all your confirmed seats first, and then you bring in the cattle call at the end. And then the families who want to try and work it out and fist fight over the seats, we're probably, be happy to do that. That way you would keep your non-confirmed seat people happy, and you'd also have something for the people like myself who just won't fly your airline because you don't give me a confirmed seat. I will not fly. It is very rare that I will fly Southwest. I will try to get Spirit or Frontier to work first. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad if I can say that. I would rather sit in a seat that doesn't recline than sit in a middle seat between two people who are undesirable, or whatever, in paying for the same rate that everybody else pays. Because I don't even find the rates to be that low, much lower than the other airlines, to the point where it's worth it. On Spirit or something like that, if I'm saving $300 less than even Southwest, I can put up with a little bit. Okay, I can put up with a seat that doesn't recline. Okay, and if my baggage is checked, I'm talking about after paying for baggage, after paying for everything, I could save that much money. So I'll be willing to put up a little bit more. Also, on other airlines, I typically am able to get first class seating. I'm not going to tell you how I do that, because if I tell you how to do that on the internet, everybody's going to do it, and then I won't be able to do it. So, but I a lot of times can get a first class seat for very, very inexpensive from American or Delta. And I literally paid, let me give you an example. I paid to go to St. Louis in this video. I went to St. Louis, return. It was $1,100 round trip. $1,100. That's no deal, you guys. And they go, well, that's because you booked, 7-day advance. Listen, I've got a 7-day advance, first class one way from another airline, American or Delta, for as little as $350. I've paid, a lot of times I paid $450. That is less than $1,100 round trip, you guys. Okay. And I got a confirmed seat, first class, meals, glass dishes, the whole 9 yards. Okay. And I've done this many, many times, but it just depends on the situation. The reason I flew for Southwest is because it was changeable. I wasn't sure about my schedule. I might have to move it, and I did have to move it. And I'm glad that I flew them because of that reason, other than I just really don't like it. Now, I have to say one more thing good about Southwest is I noticed their system and the employees are very, very good. They seem to have decent, nice people everywhere you go, approachable, and their system seems to be very systematic, and they do everything the same, and they don't have any changes in it. They seem to be very, very well managed, as far as that goes. A lot of people will disagree with this because they've had problems with a Southwest person or whatever, but honestly, I've flown a lot of different airlines, and I would say they're pretty well managed. They're pretty well done right as far as that goes. But if they changed their whole policy on that, it might bring in more people to fly them. I know several people who will not fly Southwest just because of the confirmed seat thing. So anyway, that would actually solve the problems from both ends. Then it'd have like an area in the plane. I would say the back of the plane. I would do the families thing, and that way you could get those people to want to book those last row seats. And if it was in the back of the plane, it would also eliminate the exit row seats. So so that the families wouldn't really be interested in those. So anyway, just some food for thought, you guys. Let me know what your thoughts are. I'll talk to you in the next video. Please like, share, and subscribe.